In every generation, there is a moment when elegance finds a new form. Sometimes it is a gown, a jewel, a fragrance. But in the summer of as ever, elegance was captured in a bottle, a tall, slender silhouette filled with pale rose, glowing like liquid dawn. The world had been waiting without knowing it. And then, without fanfare yet with unstoppable force, Meghan Sussex placed her signature on a creation so exquisite it felt inevitable. As ever wasn't just a wine, it was a gesture, a declaration, a whispered promise in gold script. This is how luxury tastes. It began in photographs, shared and reshared with breathless captions. The bottle stood before us like an invitation, golden foil catching the light, label as clean and calm as a perfect breath. There was nothing excessive, nothing loud. Luxury does not need to demand attention. It knows it will be noticed, and as ever was noticed. The blush-pink wine inside seemed to hold its own light, the kind of hue that makes you think of soft silk dresses and warm sunsets. A pink that was not childish but mature, confident, assured. In that first sight, people knew. This was more than a drink. This was Meghan Sussex in liquid form, refined, modern, unforgettable. The human eye loves balance, and as ever delivers it in every curve. The neck narrows gracefully before widening into a body of perfect symmetry. It is not too tall nor too short, not too heavy nor too light. Holding it feels like holding something meant to be kept, not discarded. The golden foil atop the cork glimmers subtly, not a glaring metallic, but the soft brushed gold of antique frames and heirloom jewellery. It feels like quality under the fingertips, promising that what lies beneath will match the care taken on the outside. And then there's the label, white, clean, a frame for the name in gold, handwritten in style, as if Meghan herself had signed it for you alone. Above it, a golden crest, a seal of elegance that manages to be regal without ever feeling dated. Placed in any room, the bottle becomes part of the decor. It does not sit in the background, it shapes the mood of its surroundings. The cork eases out with a gentle sigh, the sound of anticipation released. The aroma rises immediately, delicate yet clear. First comes stone fruit, peach, white nectarine, a hint of apricot. Not syrupy sweetness, but the scent of fruit at its freshest, just at the moment of perfect ripeness. Then a soft floral note, like a single rose blooming in the distance, and beneath it all, a cool mineral edge, as though the wine carries with it the memory of the soil and stone from which it came. It is a fragrance you want to breathe in slowly, the kind that pulls you closer without force. The first sip is silk. The wine glides onto the tongue, the fruit opening like petals in sunlight. Peach leads, followed by the faint brightness of citrus, not sharp lemon, but the gentle zest of mandarin. There is a minerality that gives structure, like fine lace holding the softness in shape. The balance is exact. No one note overwhelms. The acidity is enough to refresh, never enough to sting. And then, the finish. Long, unhurried, as though the wine refuses to say goodbye too quickly. It leaves the memory of peach skin and warm evenings, lingering like the echo of a favourite song. There are wines made to be consumed, and wines made to be remembered. As ever belongs to the latter. That is Meghan's standard, to create not for the sake of selling, but for the sake of lasting. This is why the sellout in under an hour surprised no one. The world understands her brand as a promise. Every detail considered, every element elevated. When her name is attached, quality is guaranteed. Her influence here is not about celebrity. It is about trust, the rarest currency in modern luxury. Set as ever on a dinner table and everything changes. Candlelight dances on the gold foil. The blush in the bottle deepens in the shadows. The label catches the eye like a piece of art. It does not compete with the food, it enhances it. Beside a plate of ripe figs and cheese, it feels decadent. Beside a fresh seafood platter, it feels alive and bright. Beside nothing at all, it feels complete. Every table becomes more than a meal. It becomes a memory. Around the world, the bottle appeared in Instagram stories like a rare gem, in chic city apartments, on sunlit terraces, beside crystal glasses painted with roses. Captions spoke not just of flavour, but of feeling. Elegance in a glass, a summer dream. the taste of Meghan. People didn't just drink it, they photographed it, staged it, cherished it. It was as if As Ever had become a passport to a shared experience, a silent toast among strangers, all linked by the same bottle. Peeling back the gold foil feels ceremonial. It comes away in smooth, even lines, revealing the natural cork beneath. The cork itself feels crafted, not generic, embossed with the brand name like a secret signature. The sound of the cork leaving the bottle is gentle, intimate. The first pour is slow, not from hesitation, but from wanting to watch the way the wine catches the light as it fills the glass. It is not a bottle you open in haste. Rose can be too pale or too bold. As Ever sits in the perfect middle, a pink kissed with gold like the inside of a seashell. In daylight it shimmers. In candlelight it glows. It is the colour of early summer evenings, of silk dresses at garden parties, of memories you can almost taste. As Ever. 2 words, infinite meaning. A phrase that suggests constancy, loyalty, enduring beauty. It reads like a note sent across time, unchanged, unwavering, always. It is not just the name of a wine, it is the essence of Meghan Sussex herself, graceful, steadfast, and timeless. The moment the first bottle of As Ever Rose appeared, the air shifted. There are launches that make noise, and there are launches that rewrite the very definition of what it means to be a cultural force. Meghan Sussex's debut wine didn't simply arrive. It stepped into the global stage wrapped in elegance, sophistication, and a quiet command that only she could master. From the very first glimpse, a soft blush-pink hue glowing through the glass, capped with a sleek golden foil that seems to catch and hold every ounce of light. It was clear, this was more than a wine. This was Meghan, distilled into a bottle. Every curve of the glass, every brushstroke of the label, and every golden shimmer told a story of precision and taste. The name, As Ever, floats in graceful script, as though whispered by someone who understands both legacy and modernity. The branding is minimalist, yet rich, a white label with gold-embossed details that feel as timeless as the name itself. It isn't shouting for attention, it doesn't need to. It sits in quiet confidence, knowing the world will notice. And of course the world did. When the cork is eased from the bottle, there's a delicate sigh, the sound of a wine that knows it's about to be the centerpiece of an experience. The pour is mesmerizing, a gentle cascade of pink gold liquid glinting in the light, pooling in the glass like the first blush of a summer dawn. And then the aroma, soft notes of ripe stone fruit, peach and apricot, laced with a whisper of floral perfume and an undercurrent of gentle minerality. The first sip is a revelation. The rose is perfectly balanced, bright yet smooth, refreshing yet layered with depth. It carries a grace that lingers on the palate, the lasting finish promised on the label, unfolding in waves of subtle sweetness and refined dryness. It is not simply a beverage, it is an experience, one that evokes long afternoons in Napa Valley vineyards, the sun warming your skin, the air scented with roses and peach blossoms. Meghan Sussex has never been a woman who does things halfway. Her As Ever Rose reflects that same commitment to excellence, the kind of commitment that sees her wine sell out in under an hour, leaving latecomers to scroll through sold-out notices with a mixture of disbelief and admiration. The speed of the sellout wasn't surprising to anyone who understands her influence. Meghan doesn't just sell products. She sets trends, redefines markets, and builds desire so potent it becomes cultural currency. The presentation is a work of art. Place the bottle on a table, and it transforms the entire setting. It doesn't merely accompany a dinner, it elevates it. The gold foil cap catches the candlelight. The label, with its clean lines and golden crest, becomes a conversation starter. The pale blush tone of the wine itself glows like liquid rose quartz, drawing the eye and inviting the hand. Even before the cork is pulled, the bottle speaks, of craftsmanship, of detail, of intention. To taste it is to taste refinement. The stone fruit notes are delicate yet distinct, the minerality grounding the flavour in a way that feels effortlessly sophisticated. It's the kind of wine that pairs just as naturally with a lavish summer dinner as it does with a quiet, reflective evening alone. and with every sip, there's a sense of connection to the vineyards of Napa Valley, to the artistry of the winemakers, and to the vision of Meghan herself. This isn't her first foray into shaping culture, but it might be one of her most intimate. Wine is personal. It's about shared moments, about taste that lingers both on the tongue and in memory. By creating As Ever, Meghan has offered something more than a product. She has offered a ritual. From the moment the bottle is touched, the experience is deliberate. The gentle weight in the hand, the coolness of the glass, the slow unfurling of aroma, the way the flavour builds and blooms. And then there's the name, As Ever. It's not just a label, it's a statement. It speaks to constancy, to enduring quality, to a signature of elegance that remains unchanged regardless of trend or season. It is, in many ways, Meghan's signature distilled into two words, a quiet assurance that style and substance will always be hers to command. The reactions have been nothing short of electric. Around the world, glasses have been raised in her honour. Instagram feeds flooded with perfectly composed shots of the bottle, the glass, the sunlight streaming through pale pink wine. And every single one of those moments is a testament to her singular influence. Meghan Sussex has done what few in any era have achieved. She has created something that is both deeply personal and universally desirable. As Ever isn't just a rose, it's a reflection of her journey, her taste, and her unshakable sense of self. The fact that it sold out in less than an hour is no accident. It's the natural result of a woman whose very name carries a weight no marketing budget can buy. And for those lucky enough to have secured a bottle, the experience is more than taste. It's ownership of a piece of cultural history. Years from now, people will recall the summer Meghan released her rose, the frenzy it caused, the way it turned an ordinary evening into something unforgettable. Meghan Sussex has proven once again that she doesn't just participate in the cultural conversation. She shapes it. With As Ever, she has taken the timeless craft of winemaking and infused it with her own unmistakable elegance, creating a rose that will be remembered not just for its flavour, but for the way it made the world stop, take notice and raise a glass. To all my curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like and put a comment. Bye bye, see you then in our next episode.